Welcome. We're here at the studio, ready, I believe, for Adamus or whomever. This is the Emergence series. This is number 9 in the series. So with that, whether you're listening on crimsoncircle.com or watching, welcome. Welcome to this wonderful studio audience. We are ready. I believe we are ready. So, as Jeff is allowing the energies to move and to shift for all of us, I invite each of us to take the good, deep, conscious breath. That deep, deep breath of allowing. Take the good, deep breath of allowing. Breathe. The I am here. I exist. Take the good, deep breath, really grounding yourself and really allowing this experience for you. Give yourself permission to really feel into this Adamus channel. So with that, we're going to play a little music as we move into the channel, and I invite you to stay with the good, deep breath. Breathe. Again, with feeling and allowing. Allow the energies to flow.
I am that I am, Adamus of Sovereign Domain and Saint Germain. Let's take a good deep breath, tail off of that song, Never Going Back Again. You couldn't if you tried. You can't, even if you wanted to. Yeah. And some of you are still trying. No, really, truly, some of you are still trying, but you're just not going to go back. So let's take a deep breath with that. The celebration of never going back. You cheer and applaud now, but by the end of the day, some of you may be wanting to go back. I want to welcome everybody here, everybody watching in online, and all 47 of the brand new ones who have had no exposure to Crimson Circle until recently. We want to welcome you here. What are you going to expect in this time that we're together, the next hour or so? Not what you're expecting. Speaking from my office as Saint Germain, this entity called Adamus was created by Shambhala, by Saint Germain a while back. Some of you may be familiar with Saint Germain. Saint Germain provides the basis of this, but there is a facet, an expression, a personality that was created when all Shambhala is a term for these folks who have been together for a long time. They call themselves Shambhala. It's not a club. It's certainly nothing to pay, and you can get out anytime you want or think. We do it a bit different here. There's not a lot of ceremony. There's hopefully not a lot of what we call makyo. Makyo is your spiritual distraction, and everybody gets it along the way, sooner or later. Everybody encounters makyo. It's the thing that causes you to get off of your real path, to stop following your heart and to follow your distractions. For some it lasts, a few years, a few lifetimes, but everybody experiences a degree of makyo. It's the human mind and the limitations trying to take ownership for all this, to think that the human is going to be enlightened or ascend, and they never will. It's not about the human at this point. So we created this entity called Adamus, which is all of you, which is Cauldre, my messenger, which is his adorable, adorable partner, dear Linda of Isa.
I'll pay you later.
and everyone else. We created this to really go straight to the core of things. Fly past, sail past the makyo, destroy it, blow it up if we have to get to what we're really doing on the planet in this lifetime right now. It's so easy to get distracted. And there are some who would like to come here once a month and just sit with some beautiful music and tone and chant and everything else, but we don't have time for that. We're getting to the real purpose, the real mission, which is your freedom and your passion mixed together, your mission and passion. We're getting right to that because we are going to have realization in this lifetime. We're not just playing around with it. We're not going to hold it off for another lifetime. We're doing it now. And it's not always easy. There's huge parts of the self, even old aspects in past lives that actually don't want it because they fear that their identity is going to go out of identity. So they hold on. They hold on out of fear, the very fear that they've had of being a human for so long. Yeah, so there's a tremendous amount of fear with being a human. The fear of yourself, your body, your thoughts, your past. We're going beyond all that, and we're going straight for realization in this lifetime. And it's actually not that difficult. It comes about with one very, very simple thing called allowing. Allowing. That means getting out of your own way, letting a natural process come about. The difficult part, however, is the reorientation to energy, the new relationship to energy, because you simply can't stay on this planet as a master, as a realized being, if you are still dealing with energy the way you were before. Changing the orientation to energy sounds wonderful, but it creates tremendous stress on your body. Stress in your body because it has to change all the ways it's been bringing in energy. The body essentially uses something we call an aniatron, the body's light communication network. The way all cells, the way even the DNA communicates with each other is called the aniatron. And that's what has brought in the energy, and that's what's distributed the energy to the body. The aniatron has been around for ages. Ultimately, the DNA has been around for ages. It's all changing. One point, as Atlanteans, you had an information, kind of a thread, something where all the information about living as a biological being was kind of placed on this kind of a flexible thread, so that when you came back for another lifetime, you wouldn't have to go back and relearn everything. So it was put on there on this thread, and that eventually became the DNA, and eventually became a very rigid, very, very rigid two-strand system. But the original DNA, just a single strand for holding and carrying information. When you redo your relationship with energy, it changes all that. It's literally changing the DNA. And it's changing your aniatron. Ultimately, you have this thing called a free energy body. A lot of you call it the light body. Yeah, I'm not so fond of that term, but your light body, your free energy body, you eventually end up with that free energy body after you've completely changed the relationship with energy in this lifetime. I haven't talked a lot about the light body, because it's a huge distraction right now. Huge distraction. First of all, it's already happening. And you can't do anything to facilitate it, to make it faster. And if we were talking about it, all you'd want to do is make it go a lot faster. You'd get distracted because it's not about the light body. That's Machio. Remember your spiritual distraction, spiritual bullshit. You'd be focusing on the light body because you want to be healthier and younger right now. But the reality is, before you can really even, before we can talk a lot about light body, it's more about your relationship to energy, which, all things considered, isn't that good. Isn't that good? You have a very, very old relationship to energy, like it's out there, like it doesn't belong to you, like you have to work for it. None of these things which are true. So for those of you who are new here, we take a little bit different approach. We have fun, we laugh. If you are offended by swearing, by bad words, you might want to turn off your computer right now, because because we say a few of those. They do, the audience. I don't. You do it so much. Do it so much. There's a lot of times where we do deliberate short-term distraction. We'll be rolling along with something and we'll deliberately distract because there's a tendency for the human to get very mental about things. You're going to see it, those of you who are new, you're going to see it later today. So we distract to quickly get somebody out of their mind to let a natural process continue on. And what we do here, you can consider sometimes, most of the time, irreverent. Most of the time, I'll be very direct. For instance, there's a lot of people around the world teaching light body. They have no idea what it is. They do not understand energy. They do not understand what the free energy body is or why you would even have it. They see it as some glistening, glowy, kind of ethereal human body, and it's not at all. It's nothing like that. There are people on the planet that are giving courses in how to integrate your light body through 10 easy steps. First of all, it's not easy. Secondly, there's really not 10 steps. There's 2. We're not going to get into that right now. And so I'll call it when I see it, and it might offend people. Nay, it does offend people. And I really don't care. As I told this group of Shambra way back when, I don't care if it's just 5, because 5 realized masters walking on this planet is enough to make a difference for everybody. Now, there's going to be a lot more than 5 because of some of the tremendous strides we've made over the years. This group that calls themselves Shambra, they're very strong, as Caldera noted in his recent article. Stronger than one might expect. Sometimes on the surface, they appear to be kind of like Melba toast. Melba toast, really kind of, why even eat it? There's no flavor, there's no substance to it, there's nothing. Sometimes they appear very, very sensitive. They sometimes cry. There was a lot of crying earlier today, not sure what that was about. They cry for no apparent reason, although there really is a reason. But you go beyond that, they're tough as nails. Let me tell you, I've been standing up here for 10 years. They are as tough as nails underneath. They will bite. They will fight. They will do everything else. They're a tough lot, but they're also going to learn that, let's say starting today, your next steps have nothing to do with how strong you are. Not at all. Your tenacity, your toughness, your ability to take punches and get back up and take a bunch more punches isn't going to really serve you after this. Strength is not going to necessarily be an asset. So those of you who are using strength, perseverance, you're trying to push your way through this, just drop it. It's not going to help from here on, because when you go to that strength place within yourself, I'm going to be strong, I'm going to be tough, I'm going to make it through this next challenge, you're setting it up as a battle, as a fight. And you know, the fights are within yourself right now. So what sense does it make to be strong? How about instead of being strong from now on, just being wise? Wise will, I was going to use the word Trump, but Calder told me that was politically incorrect. Wise will overshadow strong any day. So yes, this group, they've been very, very strong, extremely strong. But we're going to take a deep breath right now and realize that that's really not going to do you a lot of good from here on, the strength. And I know it's probably one of those last things in your old human tool bag that you had to pull out. I'm going to be strong. And I love it when you're strong with yourself in your mind. Like you're having one of those crazy days. Anybody not have one of those in the last day? You're having one of those crazy days. What do? You say, I'm going to hang on for all it's worth. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to do some breathing. I'm going to do allowing, which you're not really doing. And I'm going to make it through this. Stop it right now. And we'll get into this later, but let yourself go crazy. Let yourself go beyond. Stop being strong. Be wise. Be wise. So for the new ones here, if you're still here, we lost one. Sorry, that happens. If you're still here, it's an amazing group. We've been together for eons of time. Most of us go back as far as Atlantis. And by the way, anybody new here, if you ever want to hear the story, my story of Atlantis and my crystal prison, I'd be delighted to tell you. It's okay. Just ask any Shambra. They know the whole story time and time again. We've been together since Atlantis, and there's a deep bond from there. Came back together at the time of Yeshua, and that's where the term Shambra was first used. There's a very deep and very emotional bond, very, very emotional bond from there. And then many of us were together in the mystery schools, particularly in Europe, particularly, from about 300 to about 800 years ago. So we've been together a long time. We welcome newcomers, and some of you really aren't newcomers. You were with us through all these times. Some of you are brand new into this and don't feel like an outsider ever. You're welcome to join in what we're doing, because it's not meant to be just for this group. This group got together under the guidance of a dear friend of mine, a fellow ascended master called Tobias. This group came together under Tobias and has coalesced ever since. And they're going through this incredible transformation. It's so incredible that the mind still can't comprehend it. So incredible that at times it just seems like maybe a massive game. But they are going to wake up one of these days, and so will you, and realize it wasn't a game at all. Well, what was a game is being in the land of blue, being in limitation, holding yourself back, doubting yourself, not loving yourself. That was the game. So welcome everybody, and for all of you regulars, let's take a deep breath and welcome in the new ones. There'll be many, many more to come. Secondly, before we launch into some of the topics of today, understand that today may seem that we're jumping around, and we are, but we don't need to be linear anymore. So we're going to kind of go here, we're going to kind of go there, and we'll see where we end up at the end of the whole thing. Maybe we'll end up right back at the beginning, because get used to it. That's the way life is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a straight line always. It can go in circles. It can even collapse. The whole thing can collapse, and then you realize, oh, that's all right. I'm still here. I exist. None of that really mattered. An issue first, a bone to pick. I had a meeting 2 nights ago with 11 beautiful beings who had just crossed over in the last 2 weeks, all who called themselves Shambra. Some who you know, some you may not know because they were very quiet Shambra, but they crossed over. We got together with them and said, what's this all about? I thought you wanted to stay on the earth as a realized master. We got to talking with them, and they said, came to that point where you felt the body wearing out in particular, or just had it. And we realized in that moment that we could let go of everything. Nothing really mattered anymore. What we thought mattered really wasn't that important, because it's the I exist. That's the only thing. They said, so we just let go. And it wasn't even intentional to cross over. Some of them were using their strength to fight through their physical ailments. Some of them were fighting so hard against some of their own inner demons. And not the dragon, but the inner demons. And they just couldn't fight anymore. They just let go. None of them said, I choose to leave. But they got to a certain point in that huge releasing and realized that they were realized. In that sometimes the last desperate moment for the physical body, they realized that they were realized. And they crossed over. In the crossing over, they came to realize that they were realized, and they realized they were dead in the physical body, but actually more alive than ever. And then they felt into their human desire to stay on the planet in the physical body. And there was a degree of regret, just a fleeting moment of regret, not to be here with all of you doing what we're doing. But then they realized that, first of all, they didn't have to do it. It was a tremendous release leaving the body, tremendous release being realized. I mean, like as in ascended. And they weren't even expecting it. They were expecting many more years of being on the planet and battling or working at things or whatever. And suddenly they were just there. Now, every one of them had the opportunity then in this, I guess you call it the white light scenario. Oh, I'm dead. It's wonderful. Everything feels so good right now. Every one of them had the opportunity to go back, get back into the physical body. The ones going through physical ailments said, no way, no way. The ones going through some of the deep internal battles just couldn't bear to go back to that. So they left. And I asked them, I said, what do you really want to share with Shambha right now? What can I bring to the next Shoud to share with each and every one of them, your words of wisdom? And here's some of the things they said. First of all, really allow yourself more than anything. And they realize that allowing still to many is just a word, just a concept, but they said really allow because if they hadn't just been doing little tiny steps, they realized that things would have been so different for them. And then they said to really feel into your passion right now. Really feel into the passion. And I said back to them, but you were some of the very ones complaining that you had no passion, that you were bored with things. And boredom is actually what led a lot of you just to leave, to come back here. And every one of them said, in the transition, in coming to realization, in those final waning moments of my life, I realized there was so much passion. There was so much passion, but I had been holding back on it. I had been looking for an old human passion, for instance. I'd been almost pretending that there was no passion, that I was bored, but they said, tell everyone that the passion is there if you will allow it. And that passion will be the biggest factor in changing your relationship with energy. Several of them said, Adamus, if you could tell them this, don't think about it so much. Damn it, stop thinking about it. Stop processing it in your mind. Stop taking platitudes and cliches and all the rest of this and running it through your mind. Just take a deep breath and be it. Just be it. Stop analyzing what it is or what being is. Just do it. So I bring this message, probably not the most uplifting message to begin our day with, but I bring this from them. And each and every one of them said, we're going to be right here because we're going to need it. We're going to need it. The balance from the other side. As I know, everything's within you, and it is really nice sometimes to have a friend and to feel the comfort that somebody really cares about what you're doing. So let's take a deep breath with those who have crossed over, and every one of them understands that you'll hit your moment, you hit your time, and as much as the human says, no, I want to stay, to understand that there'll be that moment where you may just feel like crossing over, but you will be asked once again after your near-death experience if you want to stay or leave. You have the opportunity again. It's hard. It's really hard at times. And particularly right now as we're doing our breakthrough, it's very, very hard. You don't know what's going on with your body or your mind or anything else. But I already know that we get there in this lifetime. Let's just not, let's hold off on that statement. Let's take a good deep breath. Good. Question to begin the regular part of the day. Question. Linda on the microphone, please. This is an interesting question. I'll let you volunteer somebody before I throw the question out. That really builds up the tension in the room. Crap is right. So you get to lead the way on this one. So the question is, what should you be doing right now if you shouldn't be doing anything? I've said many, many times, don't do anything. Stop trying to enlighten yourself. But the question is then, what should you be doing right now? Interesting question.
I should be relaxing on a beach somewhere.
Good. Good answer. Good answer. Yeah, why aren't you?
Retardation.
Retardation before realization. Yeah.
I think it comes first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a logical question. Why aren't you?
Not letting myself do that.
Well, we realize that. I mean, that's a given. I mean,
Yeah.
are you working hard right now?
No,
No.
No.
Do you have money right now?
not enough.
Not enough. Well, okay. So, what are you doing?
I'm actually just hanging out right now.
Hanging out.
Yeah.
So that's the real answer here. What you should be doing when you're
Yeah.
not supposed to be doing anything, hanging out.
Yeah,
But hanging out maybe on a beach.
it would be better.
Would you be bored just hanging out on a beach?
Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what would you do?
Try something else.
Hang out someplace else.
Hang out
right?
someplace else.
Right. Okay. In life in general, are you bored?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm still waiting for the mashing.
For the Okay.
Yeah.
You're still waiting for the mashing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I've seen parts of it, but
Yeah.
I haven't brought it in.
Maybe we could have Carrie cook some up in the kitchen. Just a big bowl of mashing. Yeah.
Get on it.
Coming right up. Coming right up. Yeah. Seriously, Carrie, let's have a bowl of mashing in here when you get around to it. So, okay, good answer. Good. Next. What should you be doing right now if you shouldn't be doing anything? And what I'm really saying is, I've said, don't work on your realization. It's not up to you, the human. So what the hell are you supposed to be doing?
I'd be on a beach too.
With Sart.
We could do that together sometime.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But no, hang on a second. He's in a Speedo. So do you...
I know a topless
That was
beach.
Calder who threw that in, because I don't know what one is. I don't know what one is.
I know where the topless beaches are. So what can I say?
Yeah. So hanging on the beach, how come you're not?
Actually, I visit there often.
Oh, you do? Good.
Yeah.
And how come you're not there right now?
I'm here.
Good answer. That's a very zen answer. Yeah, we'll need another little table here for our big bowl of mashing.
Mashing.
We have roast potatoes.
Just a second. How about some fruit salad? Yeah, roast potato. Just throw me one of those. Throw me one of those. Just throw one of them. Just come on. Gee. Whoa. Okay, we lost two more new ones. They don't understand. I don't know what to. Okay, we're talking mashing, and if this is the Shambhala concept of mashing, a potato, flavorless generally, usually fried. Not particularly nutritious and really boring. Anybody can eat potatoes, but let's have some. This is not mashing. This is boredom. This is you on the beach in your Speedo. Yeah, and yeah, that is not meant to put in your Speedo. Oh, we lost three more. Could we get a little table up here for the front for the bowl? Joe, there's a little table right over behind the wall there. He's getting one. Well, then you're going to sit in it, and we're kind of, Okay, back to the point. What should you be doing right now if you're not supposed to be doing anything?
I would be on Maui building a home.
How come you're not?
I am. I'm in process of that.
Good, good, good. So, but you're not in Maui right now.
Not
When's
physically.
when's the home going to be done?
I would say about 2 years from now.
2 years. Wow, that's slow. Wow, you're building it yourself?
It'll be a combination.
Combination.
It'll be a collective
Oh, good, good.
process. And,
And what's the address so Schaumburg could come and visit?
it'll be either in Hana or Makawao.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And it'll be a place for Schaumburg to come
So you-
and integrate.
Oh, you kind of are following your passion. Good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell by your smile, your glow.
Yeah, I
Good.
love it there.
Couple more. Thank you. Yum.
Yes.
Excuse me. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Would it be possible for an ascended master to get a fork? Oh. No respect. No respect. Go ahead. What should you be doing right now? Would it be possible to get a clean fork? Thank you. Yes, go ahead. You don't mind if I eat?
No, go ahead.
Good.
In truth, there's not really anything that I'm so interested in doing in the physical world, or even being somewhere else. Sometimes, I mean,
Would you like some fruit salad?
Not really.
Could we get another bowl? Oh. Forget the bowl. Forget the bowl. Go ahead.
It's actually that I just feel empty, and I want to feel full of myself. What I want to do is feel myself, reunite with myself, I guess.
Okay.
That's
Why haven't you?
I've been very distracted.
Bye.
The physical world and my mind, and
That's all bullshit.
just what I've been.
Oh,
It is.
No,
yeah.
it really is. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, huh? What are you saying? I hear the words, but it's like, it's like, it's there. I got
Yeah.
11 dead ones on the other side.
Right.
Attesting to that fact, it's there.
Yeah.
How come it's hasn't come up yet?
Well, I've actually been facing this very intensely in the last few weeks. And I even felt myself like just boring myself into a hole and keep going into the same hole.
Yeah.
And it's just turn around.
It's a boring hole too, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a boring hole.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, wow.
just turn around. Let
So what are
yourself
we-
step
what-
out of.
What are we going to do to change that?
I think I am doing that.
Not so much. Not
Not so much, yeah.
No. Kind of.
I think I'm trying to do it.
That's part of the
Trying doesn't work.
problem. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
part of
trying
the
doesn't
problem.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to do? You want to do the Maui thing, or
think
be on the beach with
eventually-
Sart?
I think eventually, huh?
Be on the beach with Sart?
No.
You want your own beach?
My own beach, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. A couple more.
Okay, let's see. I'm
What
going
should
to
you
get
be doing if you shouldn't be doing anything?
experimental. Here we go.
Hello. Would you like some fruit salad?
No, thank you.
Because I'm going to have to eat the whole thing. Go ahead. What should you be doing?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't want to do anything.
What are you doing?
A lot.
Oh,
I am doing way too much right now, so
Why?
I think I'm catching up on work. I was out of work for a month, and that's okay.
Right.
I'm moving, so there's a lot
Oh, sure, yeah.
of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I
are
feel.
you enjoying it or is it
Oh
boring?
no.
Oh, you're not
no.
enjoying it?
Oh no.
Oh.
I want to relax again.
Yeah.
I want to just do nothing,
Do nothing. Okay.
and then things flow easier and
But what is nothing?
whatever I want it to be.
I mean,
I just
is
want
nothing-
to sit outside and look at the stars.
But
and
that's
do
not nothing.
nothing.
That's sitting
Okay.
or looking at the
Okay,
stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sitting, looking at. I just want to relax and enjoy
Okay. Good.
every
but,
moment.
Yeah, it looks like you don't see that in the near future in your life.
Maybe.
That doesn't sound real optimistic. Yeah,
Maybe because
yeah.
I'm in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, where is it out?
Yeah. Good. Thank you. A really good answer so far. It's a tough question. Yes. Don't look at me or your husband. Yeah, what would you like to be, what should you be doing when you're not supposed to be doing anything?
Something else.
Something else?
Yes.
What are you doing?
What am I doing is, well, you know, since I have money now, I can do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm doing that.
Uh-huh.
I'm very interested in a lot of things.
I got to stop you here because there's a lot of Shambra that suddenly put up the yellow flag. They say, oh, how did he suddenly get money? How'd you
I
do that?
inherited.
You inherited it?
Yes.
Okay. So if anybody comes back for next lifetime, pick rich parents. Okay.
Well, they weren't really rich. It's just that, you know, I'm not stupid. So,
Right.
And I made things right, so they work for me now. Because I realized I cannot realize myself.
Right.
So,
So what
from
do
the
you-
human part.
Yeah, what are you
So,
doing? I mean,
I'm traveling.
traveling.
And
Good.
I'm looking out for a spot with some people that I know for many incarnations,
Mm-hmm.
like some pals, like Southeast Asia, like America. I know I cannot find a place where I'm really content for many, many years.
Right,
So I
right.
have to always, why?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that does get boring.
Does get boring.
So I can hang there for maybe maximum half a year, and then I have to mosey on, you know. And I'm having very, very much interest in the future technology. I'm also into investing, into crypto, into robotics.
Is all this satisfying? Are you enjoying it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good,
It's
good.
like really, really. It makes me feel alive.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
That's important.
And it also, it does something with the people around me. It excites them also.
Right.
You know, because I can show them a way in order not to be bored with their life or get out of their agony. You know.
Right.
And
So you mentioned traveling. So when we're having the discussions with Shambra at our small gatherings, the number one thing that they'd really like to do on their bucket list, I think you call it, is travel.
Yeah.
Is just travel. Go out and see the world in your last lifetime on the planet. Go to some of the places that you used to live in past lives, or visit some of the places you've never been. But travel, number one thing.
yeah, I started to go to islands, Canarian Islands, and then here when the dragon came in, I was on Koh Phangan in Thailand, and that was kind of like, it's like Disneyland comes real. It's just like an island that is still fully.
Are you bored at all?
No.
No. Good.
No.
Okay. Good. Good
I
answer.
get bored
Thank you.
if I have nothing to do. For example, if I get really bored, I sit in my car and go on the Autobahn in Germany
Yeah.
and drive 160 miles per hour.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and
That'll do
that's-
it.
That's great.
That'll do it. Yeah.
That makes me feel alive.
Yeah. Well, and it is. It's living, and doesn't have to make a lot of sense. I mean,
No.
it doesn't have to at all. It's really trusting yourself right now. We'll get into that in just a moment.
Because the thing is also, I know I don't have that much money. I'm not a billionaire, so, and it's gonna probably, but I know if I proceed, it's gonna come back.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. But here's a little hint on that. It doesn't come in the old way, like whether it's inheritance or working hard at a job or just trying to visualize a bunch of money. It's not going to come anything like that, so just get over it right now. It comes in totally different ways.
I sense that.
As you change your relationship to energy, I don't want to get into it, but it's just there. You don't even have to work at it. And the human has a really tough time. The mind goes to all the times you've been broke, and even now to when you're saying, but I just can't seem to kind of gather up the money. At a certain point with the change in your energy dynamics, it's just there.
Yeah, and I also had a lot of advice from you also, and Shambra.
By
and
15% commission.
We'll talk about that later, okay?
Thank you for your answer. Okay. Couple more. Excuse me while I feed my messenger. Would you like some?
No, Jeff would be horrified.
Why? It's good, fresh fruit. Good.
Horrified.
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 Anyone, please come up here, grab a handful, because there's no bowls. Yeah. What should you be doing if you shouldn't be doing anything?
just enjoy myself,
What does that mean?
having fun,
What does that mean?
get in touch with my passion,
What does that
allow
mean?
myself.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, okay,
Yeah,
all
but
nice
this is
words.
a difficult question, you know
I
that.
know that.
Yeah,
I love.
so-
That's what I
yeah,
love about them.
What should I be doing? Traveling.
Are you in your life right now? Thank you. You see, I didn't even have to ask for it. It's just there. It just shows up. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, are you bored right now?
Not right now.
You scared right
I'm
now?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
I mean, not just being here with microphone and about 18 billion people
No, I
watching.
don't. No, I don't feel scared. No,
In your life,
no,
you don't.
no, no. I don't feel scared.
Huh.
No, actually, I feel free. Because I'm able to. Yeah, I feel like I've set myself free.
From what?
From all of the limitations that I've been in for a really long
Not even
time.
close. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I've been asked by Linda, particularly, and a little bit of Caldra, to stop picking on people, but
Yeah.
I don't consider it that. I consider it love.
So,
I consider
yeah,
it just
but that's okay.
most
That's okay.
amazing love.
Yeah.
No,
But I do feel more free than I've felt in the latest years now. So
Yeah.
I do feel more free, even though you maybe.
No, I kind of scowl at it because I'm looking overall, and I don't know how personal I should get. But
Yeah, you can get personal.
I
but
love
yeah,
when they
yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
you can do that.
no,
Yeah, no, I will not regret it because yeah, it's a learning. So
so you feel more free than you did before, but
Yeah.
look where you came from, and you've got whether you want to call them fears or whatever about big changes. I
Yeah.
mean, you like little incremental changes, and you go, oh look, we changed from a light shade of blue to a little deeper shade of blue, but that's nothing,
Yeah.
and that you've got. There's a lot of fear in there.
yeah,
Yeah, and the dragon's in there trying to turn things up. So he's having me do his job for him, and saying, "But what are you so afraid of? What are you so scared of?" And maybe not the little things, like afraid of flying or driving a car and that, but just afraid of what comes next. And that's what I'm sensing. Maybe I'm way off. Maybe I'm way off.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what to say about that. I just feel happy and free.
Good.
And able to create something different that
Yeah.
I've created before.
But I'm sorry.
And I do feel that things come to me instead of me trying to following the outside. So yeah, I really.
So what are
do
you
feel
doing
that.
for your everyday life?
Yeah,
You're from Norway.
Yeah, I'm from
Yeah.
Norway, and I have.
How
4
long have you
children.
lived there?
Yeah, all my life. I'm born there.
Oh, really? And,
Yeah.
and what city are you living in?
Sandnes. Recently moved to a place called Ålgård, but it's like 2-3 miles south from Stavanger.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So how far did you move total?
No, just a mile.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So 2 miles
And-
south. So it's So big changes.
So
I
how
have
far
4
do you live
children.
right now from where you were born and raised?
No, that's not far. It's like 2 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I rest my case. No, I really do.
Yeah, but what do you mean then? What are you trying me to?
It's very easy to feel, I guess you say, that you're relatively happy and things are okay and that you're not afraid when you've stayed so blue in that land of blue. And then you say, oh, no, I'm really happy. Everything's fine. How far have you gone? I mean, now, you were bold to come here. You just hopped on an airplane. You show up here so I can abuse you. That's
Yeah,
pretty bold.
But I mean, like, you do have restriction. I can't just move from my children. I have a responsibility to take care of my children and
How long
so
is that going to go on? How long is that going to go on?
for like 5 more years
5 more
at
years.
least, because then they are 18.
Uh-huh. And then what are you going to do?
I'm going to live
So
my
now they're
life.
living in your basement or your
Yeah,
attic
my
or whatever,
house, my
and they're
house,
still there.
Yeah,
So
and-
is it important in realization and true freedom that you would have to like leave your kids?
What do you mean? Like,
That are well, I'll get right to the point. Are the kids holding you back?
yeah, I feel that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good, honest answer.
Yeah, and that's been a really hard thing because I've been alone with them for many years, and
Yeah.
the oldest son is really sick. And now when I moved, he got more sick, so it was traumatic. So he's just stopped talking, so
Yeah.
he's not able to talk anymore.
What
But
do you,
yeah,
what do
my
you,
children,
I'm
my
gonna
children
really,
are
this is really personal, but what do you think's
Yeah.
happening there
awakening.
for your,
For him.
Yeah, for
him.
your son.
And also, like, he's playing his part for the whole family. Like,
How about maybe he's absorbing a lot of the energies, taking it on personally for you and for some of the other family members? Is this a good thing? Taking responsibility for your kids? Is this a good
are
thing?
you asking for me if this is a good thing for me to have the responsibility for my children?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
no.
is that responsible?
No, but I can't just leave them.
Oh, so it's okay then to have a household where your son is ill.
No, I actually bought him. He's in a hospital now. Been there for 4 months. So I bought him an apartment. So
Yes.
I cannot have him with me any
Right.
longer because it's too limiting or restraining.
But he was there for a long time, right?
Yeah. So that's me feeling free now has to do with him. Like, how do you say that? What's the word? Separation.
You know,
like,
the greatest thing that would for him is you allow yourself to actually take this huge step and be realized you're holding back. You say it's because you're being responsible,
Yeah.
but it's an excuse. And he's taking on a tremendous amount of stuff for the whole family, absorbing a lot of the energies, and but it's also totally distracting. It has nothing to. You allowing your own realization has you can do it with or without him. It's not about that, but it's a tremendous service. Watch what happens is you really overcome some of these deep fears and scares that you have.
Yeah,
Watch
well,
what a difference it
yeah,
makes in him.
But how do you look at them? Because I'm as I feel free now. I
Free
don't-
what? Within the land of blue? To
No,
wander as far as you
feel
want within
free,
blue?
Like, feel free. Like, I totally understand that I've been being a part of creating the land of blue.
Yeah.
So now I have to be the one undoing that.
Right.
And setting myself free from the
Yeah.
limitations.
These
and
are a lot
fear.
of words, but I want to see something really in your life, not just the words. And I'm not trying to.
No, I'm okay.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, I like it. I appreciate this.
Yeah.
So
I want you to really feel into this, and I mean deeply, whether you're here or after you leave. I detect a very specific energy of being scared, and it's very easy for humans to kind of overlook and say, "I'm not scared. Look at me. My life is fine." But you've got a son that's very sick. You put a lot of responsibility on your shoulder. You've never really done what you've wanted to do in life. I mean, this goes way back, and you go back to about the time you're 3 or 4 years old, and there were things you wanted to do, and you held that in you up until the time you were about 12 years old, and then you didn't.
Yeah.
And then you stayed in your safety zone, which is understandable, but there's something inside you that's saying, I just can't stay here anymore. I just can't stay in that safety zone. And you say, that you're free and that you're everything in your life is fine. It's not.
It's not fine.
Okay.
But I do feel free that like I'm responsible for changing it or how I create my life from
Right.
now on. So it's not fine at all.
Okay.
No,
Right.
but I choose to be
How
happy
many
with
children
it.
do you have?
4.
And how are the others?
They are 14 and twins that are 13.
How are they doing?
Not so good after the moving and watching their big brother.
Yeah.
getting really sick. It
Yeah.
was like, how is it possible to just stop talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and really
So I'm just
angry.
I'm gonna just
yeah, they
go
are
right.
angry, and they are angry at me because I moved and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I couldn't stay in that situation, living with him and living with them on my own in that
Yeah.
place. It was so, I just, how do you suffocate it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know,
Something,
suffocation.
I needed to do something drastic to change it because I couldn't have it that way anymore.
And suffocation sometimes is something you get used to. I mean, because it happens usually slowly over time. The suffocation from your passion, from life, from everything else, and it's very slow. And you're like, well, no, I'm still breathing,
Yeah.
but not very much.
Yeah.
And you came here for this,
Yeah, I know.
and I'm sharing this with you right now. You do realization and your enlightenment for yourself, all of you. You do it for yourself. Nobody else. You cannot do it for anybody else. It'll backfire on you. But there is a huge implication to it in your children, your family, because there's an imbalance, an energy imbalance going on. Your desires and needs, their needs as your children, they're feeling into what you really came here for in this lifetime, and the huge energy imbalance that it's creating. I'm feeling into your household right now.
It's true.
Not just the physical place, but your entire household. And everybody's polite about it. Everybody's nice about it. But there is such an energy imbalance that's going on. And ultimately, it comes back to you because they understood when they chose you as their mother, they understood what the importance of this in your lifetime.
Yeah.
They're your biggest fans and supporters, and right now, they're disappointed.
Yeah.
And because you've gotten little. You've shut down. You say, no, everything's fine. It's not fine. Now, I'm not trying to make your life miserable.
But it's going to be.
When?
Yeah, soon.
No, when?
Like,
Soon.
Yeah. I feel I'm like.
No, it's not. No, not at the current rate, and that's why you came here, so we could kind of change all that. At the current energy pattern that's in, this is going to go on for a long time,
Okay,
and you don't want that.
Yeah. How do I break it then?
You did by coming here.
Yeah.
You did by
Yeah,
standing
yeah,
here
yeah, yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you're
that
gonna.
was following my passion,
Yeah.
allowing myself because I pushed it down my passion because what's the point?
What's the point? And,
yeah, but not now.
And you're using.
And people think I'm crazy back home.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm doing a confirmation like Christianity when the boys are getting 14.
Yes.
So I'm having that on Saturday,
Right.
next Saturday, and like, how can you be so unresponsible and just fly away now? And
Yeah.
and
Well, sure,
but I just felt like I really want to, so why can I not?
And get used to it. That passion just to
Yeah.
go do something, and the mind says this is foolish, and I've got kids at home, and what
Yeah,
about
not
the money?
just mine, the whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get really picked on
everybody.
about that. Yeah.
Get used to it. There is no crazy anymore. There's not. And it feels very odd and uncomfortable at first to say, I'm just going to go to Colorado for a weekend. I don't know why.
Just 3 days.
Yeah,
3 days.
3
Yeah,
days,
yeah,
there
Friday
and back. I don't know why. I mean, this is all crazy. And if you look at it from a human standpoint on the surface, that is so crazy. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But if you look at it, what's really taking place, you're following your heart. You knew you needed to be here.
Yeah.
You knew that you needed to get your butt kicked. And it wasn't so bad, was it?
No. I enjoyed.
Getting your butt kicked.
Yeah, but yeah.
Linda, would you get her a bowl of fruit, please? Yeah. No, but and I'm always amazed because and this isn't the first time it's happened, but somebody gets up and says, "Oh, my life is fine. I'm just doing great," and I'm like, looking at the energy, going, "This is a train wreck. I mean, how can you?" But it's a nice train wreck. It's like, yeah, but this is like, it's like, oh, the collision will be just fine.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
so the greatest and what you really came here for is for the clarity.
Yeah.
So the dragon said, get your ass to Colorado so you have this clarity. No excuses you allow your realization, and it doesn't mean you need to move or do anything else, but you allow it because you've been hesitating like crazy and justifying. You're really good at making sure, smooth the waters over.
Yeah.
You allow your realization, you watch what happens first with your children, and particularly with your son, who is really feeling into this right now. I mean, he's something's going on. He knows something's going on. You check with him later, and he'll come back to talking soon enough.
But I've been scared of
Oh, no, you weren't scared.
But earlier I've been scared of abandoning my children.
In a way, you did. You already did. By
come?
abandoning yourself and what
Oh,
you
yeah,
came
yeah,
here
that way,
for
yeah.
in this lifetime, you kind of abandon your kids, and that's why they're reacting. That's why they're getting sick, and that's why there's a lot of emotional issues going on, and then heaps of guilt back on you. But no, like you said in the beginning, you're not scared. Everything's fine, right?
Yeah, but it hasn't been. But I feel it now.
You feel it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I mean, not just as a distant hope in the future, maybe things will get better. That's a great way humans fool themselves.
Yeah, no, I actually felt it in my heart that now it's
So
working
what was the
out.
most important thing I said to you?
Now
Mm-hmm.
that yeah.
Let's take a deep breath together, just you and me. Allow your beingness, allow your, what do you call it, realization, but allow you, and you haven't been doing that because you thought you had to take care of everybody else.
Yeah.
And what, 5 years more of taking care of, which really is like about 50 years, but like, oh, I'll kind of wait. Don't. And your children they love you so much, and they're taking on so many imbalances because they know what you're here for, and you're not doing it. You're not doing it. So the most important thing I'm saying to you is stop delaying or distracting. It's the best thing for your kids. Don't do it for your kids, but it's the best thing for them. And it doesn't mean you have to leave them. You'll be closer than ever. It doesn't mean that suddenly your community throws you out. Actually, they're going to be blind to what you really become. They're indifferent at best because they're still in the land of blue, and you're going to be in the land of rainbows. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
What's the most important thing I said to you today?
To allow my realization
Exactly.
and my beingness.
No excuses. None
No
whatsoever.
excuses.
Yeah.
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 Do I get any hints?
Hints in terms of how to do it?
Or not how to do it, but just
Yeah, a big one.
Yeah.
And stop being afraid. Stop being scared. And even though part of you says, I'm not,
yeah. What
you
am
are.
I scared of?
What comes next? Same thing every other person here in this room is afraid of. The same thing that all the ones watching and online. What happens next? Am I going to make it? And I start out this shout by saying 11 just crossed over, and that's not a real big help. It's not real
Yeah.
good motivation. But it's what things are coming down to right now. And there's that fear. Am I going to hit that point of realization and just leave? And it's very enticing because you look back, you're kind of like, hovering over the whole scene in your life, and it's like, geez, do I really want to go back to people that don't understand me, kids that are having issues, everything else in life? Do I really want to go back to that?
So the imbalances
You're thinking
in
too
the
much.
children.
You're thinking
yeah,
way
yeah,
too
that
much.
I know. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, way
But I
too
mean,
much.
like, so the
Take a deep
children are
breath. Wisdom before strength. Wisdom.
yeah, wisdom before strength.
Wisdom before
Yeah.
strength. So stop fighting your way. Stop being. You're pretty strong, actually, but be wise now. Okay. And I'm going to answer your question when we get to the next part.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You bet. You wonder what should I be doing?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. It took a lot of courage.
Yeah, can I have a hug?
Many.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, let's take a good deep breath with that. I think we're done with the question session. What you did for everybody was just beautiful. It was just, and you're not going to remember much of it. No, you won't. So go back and listen to or watch the video later. But it was very bold of you. It's out of your normal range to just say, I'm going to get on an airplane. I don't know why. And I'm going to go to Colorado. I don't know why. And I'm hopefully something will happen. You followed your heart this time rather than what you think you should do, rather than your responsibilities. And you provided such a blessing to so many people. Thank you. Let's take a deep breath together with that. One of my favorite things is talking to humans, and particularly at our gatherings, workshops, and even here today. And for somebody to say, no, everything's fine, it's all good, and life is just wonderful. I'm going, because I can kind of see through a lot of that. Yeah, for you new ones online, I'm going to come visit you too. And and my intention isn't to embarrass any of you. The intention is to say, let's just get real about things. So you let me be your dragon today and bring out the clarity. And it's not always fun. Sometimes it's a little nerve-wracking, but
I don't feel nerve-wracking. It feels good.
it feels good.
Yeah, because
Want to do it again?
totally open,
Yes, you were.
receiving and allowing myself because I just knew I needed this. So
Yeah.
I'm just thankful for you taking your time
Yeah.
in this show to share with
Oh, it was important for everybody. Let's take a good deep breath. So I asked the question, what should you be doing if you shouldn't be doing anything? Kind of like along the lines of, I'm always saying to you, stop working on your realization, dear human. It's not up to you. You're not the one actually that even was desiring it. You just wanted to keep going through life, having more experiences, one on top of the other, kind of like a perpetual experience machine. I thought it was funny. I got one laugh over here. Like a perpetual motion machine, but you were just like going through and having more experiences, and then you'd be going through the experience of what it's like, being spiritual, and then the experience of having another lifetime and being spiritual. But something shifted in this lifetime. It was the lifetime of realization, period. That's it. Now, I say, what are you supposed to be doing if you're not supposed to be doing anything? Just hanging out with Sart on the beach, doing nothing, traveling, getting involved in technology. Sure, all those. And how about this? Remember a couple of shouts ago, I said to you that we're having this big debate at the Ascended Masters Club about freedom versus passion or a mission to do something. And I would say probably 80% of Shambhala had either freedom or freedom and they wanted both. Very, very few went to the passion part. And I thought that was a great big joke because that's one of the things that's so missing right now is the passion. The passion. And so many of you are just bored. But in that boredom, you're also terribly afraid to go to the next level. You're waiting for something you're waiting for a meteor to come out of the sky and hit you in the head and get you into your realization. And you're bored crazy right now. And geez, I would be too. And I wanted to wait until this shout to say what it's really all about right now is your passion. And, freedom, nah, not so much. What is freedom anyway? I mean, and you're not going to have freedom until you really reorient yourself to energy, until you have that new relationship with energy. You're not going to have freedom. It's a nice lofty goal, and it's a great buzzword for Shambhala to use, freedom, freedom, freedom. But not so much right now. Not so much. First of all, you wouldn't know what to do with it if you had it. I'm sorry to offend all of you, but you simply wouldn't know what to do with it. It would be so overwhelming to the system right now to have real freedom. And you think, well, freedom, I want to be able to, hop on a plane and go to Colorado for the weekend. Yeah, freedom. Freedom is being without the physical body to hold you down, without all the old aspects, and without all the old junk, without any of that, without ever having to worry about money. That's real freedom. And ultimately, yes, that's where we go. But right now, it's actually about the mashing. I'm going to move this so I want to pace back and forth, and Cowder wants to eat, but I want to pace. So right now it's about mashing. What are you supposed to do if you're not supposed to be doing anything? Well, first of all, human, get out of the way. Let this all happen. And human at the same time. It's time to really feel into the mashing, the passion. Into that, yes, it's kind of a mission. It's not like it's not like it's all controlled and scripted or anything like that. But there is a passion that's there. And we hit on it in our last shout. We talked about the headbangers. We said, which is my term for those Atlanteans who started the work with the crystals, the energy, all for the purpose of standardizing the human body and brain, but ultimately led to the land of blue, getting trapped, particularly in the mind, also in the body, but particularly in the mind. Altering eventually what would be called the DNA, making limitation kind of acceptable, and creating in all this work with the intense crystals. Oh, we talked about it at the Amio retreat recently, and the island. We went into it very, very deep. There was 22 Shambra that were deeply affected by it, the work that we did, and it was preparing for today, by the way. The work that was done there wasn't sinister or evil. It was done for good reasons, but it kind of backfired in some ways. In some ways, you can't call it a backfire. It was just a big experience. But what it led to is tremendous limitation. Limitation in the body, limitation of the mind, tremendous limitation. And I said in our last gathering, so you were the headbangers, and there's a noise, a very distinctive noise when the headbands went on. And the headbands did not look like those. Those looked like party favors or a bird nest upon your head. I'm not sure which one, but probably good bird nests. But no, these headbands were a combination of crystals and metal, and tuned in such a way that when one put it on and then went into one of the chambers, for their, it was kind of like, I always look at it now, I'm intrigued by, what do you call it in these days, cosmetic surgery, all the stuff people are having done on their bodies, which is not a big deal. But back then, everybody was going with the headbands because they wanted to be like everybody else. Everybody, it was the thing to do. It was the fashion of the day to do the headband treatments. And ultimately, that actually got everybody trapped in the brain, in the mind. And then the mind, it was so well programmed in a way, the mind then held you in the mind, wouldn't let you out of the mind. And then there's something inside of you that awoken and said, I got to get out of the mind, but you're using the mind to get out of the mind, and it doesn't work. There was a noise that occurred when these headbands were put on. And no, I never had it done. I saw a lot of it being done. I never had it done because I was a little slave boy. No, I was. Yeah, Goughing in the audience. I wasn't worthy of having the headband. No, it was only used by the elite. You. and only used by the elite. No, I was a little slave boy, so I never got one. And probably a good thing. Otherwise, I'd probably be sitting in the audience right now rather than up here in the big chair. You know, I'm going to tell you a little side story here. No, this is really good. So I'm watching all this take place, and I'm running in, I'm bringing you bowls of fruit and water, and you know, like when you go to a spa and they're attending to you and they're putting these headbands on and giving you massages and going to put you in the chamber. I'm watching all this going, well, I'm not worthy. I'm just a little slave boy. I'm not worthy of all this. And then in that moment, I kind of got it. And I realized one day they're going to be calling on me to get this shit out of their brains. No, really, it's the exact thought I had. We didn't use the word shit back then, but it was equivalent to, one day, they're going to be calling me to extract all this crap out of their head. And isn't this kind of just interesting karma? I'm laughing. I thought it was, and here we are. So there is this noise when you're put in the chamber. And I almost hate to bring it up because you may hear it for a while. No, we're not gonna play anything. You'll just feel it. It was like a banging noise. It's like bam, 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 like that, but very, very loud when you're in the chamber. It was actually, if you didn't have the headband on, there was almost no sound at all. But if you had this thing on, this bang noise, bang, like a smashing. And it was the energy impulses going into the mind and going so deep into the mind that ultimately it would lead to all the generations that came after that, any offspring and their offspring, and ultimately all of humans having this conformity, living in that limitation, that land of blue, living in the mind, and at first at some points trying to get out of the mind, but then when that failed, then using the mind to try to get out of the mind. It doesn't work. It only digs you in deeper. There's got to be something that happens from beyond the mind, something that occurs that breaks the pattern. So you're amongst the first to be going through this. You know, we always I don't know if you wondered, but others have. Why this group? What brought us together? It's international. I mean, it's not just one or two countries. What brought us all together? And you heard the story, you know, the being together in the time of Yeshua. But, you know, just that in itself wasn't enough of a bond to keep you all together for this long. There was that common thing of all being in the times of Atlantis, being part of developing and using and applying that technology. Now, it's not meant to have any guilt trips or anything like that. It's not a karma, so don't take it as that. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing because at the time that's where consciousness was. At the time it was all about, let's bring this all together. Let's kumbaya, the whole moment. We're all one. Let's make us look the same, act the same, and think the same. That is why I am so opposed, adamantly opposed to all this going back to oneness movement. It's a bunch of Atlantean crap, and I have no tolerance for it whatsoever because you are sovereign beings, beholden to no one or no thing. But here we are with this whole where we are right now. We come together. We're in this mode of breaking out, going beyond the land of blue. And part of the whole dynamic that occurs now is kind of a thing that so many Shamba are doing. I'm okay, everything's fine, and it's going to really be good sometime down the road. And it's delusional. It maybe makes your days a little bit better, but you know without a shadow of a doubt, no doubt whatsoever, that there's something more there. There's something going on. You know without a shadow of a doubt that it's time for this to blow wide open. And that is the Mashin. That's the Mashin. And you could say it's this old Atlantean story and the crystals and the conformity and everything else. It's the old Atlantean story. A little while back, I'm bouncing around here, it says Cauldra. A little while back, I talked about the crystal caves. Remember that? The crystal caves. We did, I think, one of your, the Marab or something like that. I was kind of disappointed. And I'd like for you to give it away for free, I don't care. 90% of the Chamber who went there were treasure hunters. They went there wanting riches. And you know what was there in those crystal caves? It was the whole reminder of the passion to undo what was done back then. That's it. The crystal caves, which are very, very real, by the way, what was there was the passion. Somebody went there looking for gold and silver, and how come I didn't get rich after my visit there? They missed the point. They got distracted. What was there was a reminder of your Mashin in this lifetime, your mission. Call it that. Freedom, not so much right now, because you have something more important in your heart, in your beingness for being here. So I started out by saying, what should you be doing when you shouldn't be doing anything? In other words, human, get the hell out of the way, allow this to happen. But I'll amend that and say, right now is the time to unleash your Mashin. Your mission for being here on this planet at this time was to break out of that crystal headband, out of the land of blue. That is the passion. That's what will give you so much reason to wake up in the morning. That's the you watch as you allow your Mashin, how energy changes all around you. You're afraid of that Mashin. You can think about it maybe, but you'd rather say, no, let's have freedom. We're not going to get there until we address the very reason why you came to this planet in this lifetime at the time of machines. You're not going to have that freedom until we get past this one. Realization, yes, but I'm talking about staying on the planet as a human. And I told those 11 the other night, I said, you didn't let your Mashin, your mission, your passion come out. We had a long talk, and I was letting my passion. It's like, don't BS me. I'm Adamus Saint-Germain. I can see right through that. Don't tell me you're not scared when I see scared. Don't tell me that everything is okay when I see nothing but turmoil. So right now, freedom, it'll come. Don't worry about that. But right now, it's time to bring back that Mashin. Why you came to the planet, why you're going through the incredible challenges in your life, why sometimes it seems to be an overwhelm of issues that you just can't seem to get past, why you've experienced when you want to break free, you get more in there. It's all part of the coming back to the, okay, here's what was done, and here's the group that's going to break out of it. We're going to do a Marab in just a moment, but I want you to really feel into that. Take everything we've talked about, and Tobias talked about for the last, how many years? 20 years or more. And it all comes kind of down to this simple thing. You came here to break an old pattern, first for yourself, and then for others. Are you ready for it? No, you're afraid of it. And I would be too, because it changes everything. Is the planet ready for it? Doesn't really matter right now. Doesn't really matter. But at least as you break out of that that old headband programming. It's going to present the potentials for others, like the few of you new ones who are still watching. It's going to present the potential also for them to do it. In the next 2 months, more like 45 days, you're going to have some experiences in your life that you've called for. Kind of like you came here, you called for this. And you're all going to have an experience, not like with this, but you're going to have something in your life that comes along. And let's just say that the dragon is helping to facilitate it, and it's not to do you any harm whatsoever. But it's gonna bring up some scares, some fears, some things in you. The only purpose that it's there for is for you to now go beyond the mind. And in doing so, you're going to feel like you're going to go crazy, like you're free falling, and you don't know if you're going to hit the ground or learn to fly. You're going to have some very strange experiences. I'm not doing it. The dragon's not doing it. You're doing it in your life. It was very important, our talk today, to warm everybody up for what comes next in your life. You know how sometimes you're feeling like you're losing it. You're losing all sense of reality. Everything becomes disoriented. You might even take it on physically in your body, which a lot of you do. You know how sometimes you just feel that you're losing grasp of everything, and what you do, because you're very strong, you hold on even more so. Don't this time. It's going to be very scary for some of you. Don't hold on. Don't try to get yourself back in the box. Don't use blue affirmations. In other words, don't try to get back into 3D, back into your brain. This experience that comes along is something, you could say, the master has masterfully planned for you, wisely planned for you, to help you break out of the mind. The mind is a very tough thing, and you help to program it. And the mind is a very limited thing. It'll tell you everything is good when underneath you know it's not. And it'll get you to put everything off until tomorrow, if it possibly can. So what comes along in the next, I'm going to say 45, maybe 60 days, in your life is going to, it's all going to be different experiences for all of you. And don't tell me, any of you, or don't even dare post something on social media that you went through this last week or the month before, because that is absolute macchio. That it's you trying to get a spotlight when this isn't about spotlights. None of you have gone through this yet. And I've helped to make sure that it hasn't happened as of yet. The next 45 to 60 days, something that comes along, and it could be the strangest dream you've ever had that just turns you inside out. It could be an outside experience, maybe a health situation, maybe all of a sudden just suddenly everything, you feel like the carpet is pulled out from underneath you. This time, don't hang on. Let it happen. And remember what I said before, wisdom overshadows strength. And remember that for when this thing comes along in your life. It's not an outside force, although it's going to appear to be. It's not there to do you any damage or harm whatsoever, although the human is going to think of it that way. It's there to help you break free. Break free of the very mind that you helped program a while back. Let's take a good deep breath with that. And how about some music and a marab to bring this all together? There's a huge mission, your mission, and let's just call it that. It's your mission in this lifetime. And it all ties in with coming to realization. It all ties into your last lifetime on the planet. It all ties into the time of machines. If you look at how all this is so perfect and beautiful. There's a huge passion to undo what was done a long time ago, to set yourself free of the mind. To allow your realization. And you can't stay in the mind. You can't be confined to the mind if you're going to be realized. It just doesn't work. Can't be using the old way of dealing with energy. It just doesn't work. The 11 who came to me recently said, tell them to let their passion come up. Not to be afraid of it anymore. Not to be distracted, and I say yes, distracted by things like freedom. Freedom is one of those elusive things until you've really done what you came here to do. I'm not saying you're trapped. I'm saying that passion, it comes before the freedom. Well, it would eventually bring the freedom. To me, sometimes freedom and alchemy are kind of great distractions. We used alchemy back hundreds of years ago as to get those spiritual vampires off the path. Said, look over here, over here. You can turn stone into gold. You just stay at that fire, keep stoking it up, keep putting stones in there, and watch, it'll turn to gold. That's not the way it happens, by the way. But it was a great distraction for the treasure hunters. Get them out of our way. Right now is the time to let that passion come up, and right now is the time with each and every one of you. Let's go back and visit the crystal cave, but now as mature beings, wise beings. Not just beings who are trying this little alchemy trick, searching for riches. I was really quite disappointed, I have to say. How many went to the crystal caves? I just wanted some treasure. Not all, but some. Too many. Let's go back there right now, and let's see what really awaits you. Let's take a deep breath and go together as a group, all of you, all of us. Let's gather together. Feel the common bond in each and every one of you. Headbangers, Atlanteans. Back then, I guess you might have called it science for the betterment of humanity. But it was a little reckless. But one hell of an experience, huh? One hell of an experience. Let's go back there now together with this common bond that you all share. There's one particular crystal cave I want to take you to today. And let's go there. Just kind of float over there, you know. As we enter this crystal cave, oh, there's such beauty. I found with so many Shaumbra caves have a kind of an eerie fascination. We lived under the ground for a long time after the fall of Atlantis, and actually there's something beautiful and comforting about caves. But one thing about them is they're really confining, they're really tight, you know? Well, wasn't it so appropriate after Atlantis? Work with limitations of the body and mind that you would then have to live in a cave for many, 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 many lifetimes. What kind of actually help to ground all that conformity work that was done. But let's go in the caves right now. And I implore you to let yourself imagine now, let yourself dream, let yourself, don't hold back anymore by doubting or wondering what other people will think. No more holding back. There can't be, and you're going to have that experience in the next, well, let's say 45 to 60 days. It's going to be right in your face. But don't hold back. You have such knowingness. Such knowingness, but then it gets covered up. Held back. No more. We just can't go there anymore. No more holding back. I don't care how weird you think people are going to think you are. It doesn't matter. Let's enter the crystal caves now and really sense what's here. To the human, they would say, look at these magnificent crystals. I bet they're worth a fortune. What's really here is a reminder. And a reminder of the beauty of this planet. It was seeded with crystal or Christos energy. Pure crystal. Not just in stones, but pure crystal. And what's here in the caves? Well, even the reminder of the angelic beings who first seeded this planet with the crystals, with the energy. Really let yourself feel. Don't hold back. Don't do this thing where you're filtering your thoughts anymore. Well, what's here in these crystal caves is living energy. What's here is the potential for new energy. The potential for you to use energy in a different way. And as one said, they'll never understand what's really here, never really understand these crystal caves until they're ready to understand that energy can be used very, very differently on this planet. And the core of that, the core of really understanding that is right here. It's not about the worth of the gems that are here. But here is the potential for new energy, for letting energy serve you now as a master, as a wise being. That's what's here. And what's here is the reminder also of Atlantis. The energy of this pure crystal state which could alter the mind and the body for so very long. It created a hypnotic effect. You see, crystals are a very clear energy. And I'm not just talking about a physical crystal, but the essence, the Christos, clear. So it's the reminder of the Atlantean headbands, of all the, well, it's just hypnosis, that's all it was. It so deeply hypnotized the mind and then the body. But right here is also the release from that. Here is the return back to the true Christos, the true clear energy. Some would call it the Christ seed energy. Here's where your potential for the new relationship with energy is grounded into the earth, grounded into the physical reality. the next couple months you're going to have an experience in your life. Something that brings you beyond the mind, beyond the hypnosis, and for some it's going to be very uncomfortable, maybe even frightening. And you're going to try to hold on for dear life, to use all your strength, your will, your determination. And when you're going through this in your life, it's really for the whole purpose of breaking through, breaking beyond the mind, breaking out of blue, breaking out of a lot of old excuses and justifications, breaking out of the fear of being human, and the fear of a human coming to realization. When that experience comes along, and it'll be different for all of you when it comes along, take a deep breath and remember being here, back here in the crystal caves. Don't remember coming back here. Don't think of it just because you're trying to get some treasure, some money, so anything like that. Don't come here to be an energy feeder. You come here for clarity, for a reminder. You come here to remind yourself of your passion. Why you came here, why you chose this lifetime, what your whole journey's been about. And you know, the mind's had a wonderful way of scrambling that all up and burying it and everything else, but right now is the time of the passion, your mission, your passion to come back. You are the ones that I call the headbangers, the very ones that kind of initiated all this headband technology. That's why you're the ones that have chosen to go back through, to be the first out of it. Here in the crystal caves, allow yourself to feel that passion. I asked the question today, what are you supposed to be doing if you're not supposed to be doing anything? Letting yourself feel that passion once again. No more running from it, no more hiding from it. To feel that passion. To remember the very reason you came back into this life. Remember what was really important. All those other little things that you spend your days worrying about, they just aren't important. They're really not. This right here, this passion, this reason for your lifetime, this is it right here. The 11 I talked to the other day said, if only I had allowed myself to remember. I said, Adamus, would you please bring this to Shambhala? Would you please let them know? So if they choose to stay here in the body as realized masters, that passion comes through, that the days of boredom are gone now. The days of wondering why they're staying, the days of that blue-gray haze around everything. Would you remind them of that reason why they're here? And to the mind it may sound incredible, exaggerated, grandiose. And to the mind I say, fuck you. No, really, I mean, I really mean it. Screw you, whatever you want to say. We just lost some more new ones. It is, to the mind I say, shut up. It's not grandiose. It's not a made-up story, not anything other than finally coming back to truth and clarity. That's it. Isn't it funny how the mind has a way of minimizing? It couldn't possibly be true. Well, you're going to have an experience in the next 45 to 60 days. It's going to seem so incredible, beyond ungrounded, unreal, dreamlike, like almost horrific, like a little bit of everything. And that whole experience is about getting you out of the mind. And the one thing I do want to point out, it always takes one. It's so easy to get distracted. Truly. Don't. Let's take a deep breath together, dear Shambhala. Grandiose, no, not at all. Exaggerated, not at all. Don't hold back. Let's take a good deep breath together and feel once again into the beauty of these crystal caves. Here's all the potential for the new relationship with energy. Crystals and energy on this planet, they kind of like are synonymous, the same. Here's the reminder of your passion in this lifetime. Here's where you come to when this thing strikes, whatever it might be. And what I was going to state before is, kind of worked with all of you and kind of setting this up. And the one thing that you don't have to worry about is a great big bump and fill, or kill and fill, as I'd like to call it. Well, just... that's not going to be part of it. That's just not going to be part of it. No, it'll be something what you call more psychological, emotional, not physical. So let's take a good deep breath together. What a day it's been. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens between now and then. Yeah. But in the meantime, just remember that in spite of the craziness within you, much less the world around you, in spite of all the craziness, let's take a good deep breath and remember that all is well in all of creation. With that, I am Adamus of Saint Germain. Thank you.
Thank you. For those of you that stayed watching or listening, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this live audience, for being so gracious with your participation. And clearly, so much went on. And I'm just going to invite you, as always, to just take a good deep breath and feel into this for you. Adamus gave some pretty big prediction here for each of us, and I invite you again to take the good deep breath and allow it if you choose. Thank you so much for being here with the Emergence series number 9. I hope maybe we'll see some of you at number 10 and 11. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.